The rampant inflation rate over the past 2 years has devastating consequences on the consumers. With food prices on the rise, those in the lower income group are battling to keep their head above water. This forced many to seek alternative measures to ditch the high inflation rate. Refiloe Mponyo had no choice to undertake 2 side jobs during these strained economic times.
As you know, the cost of living is extremely high. So these other ones, they are also assisting me with my bills, my school fees. That is why I've decided to continue with them. I do have hope that things will get better, but I believe that you as a person, you also need to do something to change your situation.
Stanley Nkgaphale, a father of 2, concur. While he is formally employed by a mining company, he had to explore other avenues.
It's because of when we have side hustle, it helps a lot. Like, let's say you don't have a bread in the house, then you take from the money that you have from the side hustle. Yeah, it's tough for people who are not working because they don't have income anyway. But when you have the hustle, like selling, it's better.
But those who supplement their salaries are warned to always prioritize their main source of income.
What is important, however, is to understand always that your primary sources of income, which is usually your salary, that you have to make sure that you keep that, to make sure that you remain productive, and you make sure that you do what you said you're going to do to your employer. Because if you should lose your primary source of income, then you're going to get into really big trouble.
According to a new Bank South Africa report, the average salary in the country has weakened. This due to an underperforming economy, high unemployment and steep inflation, among others. Meanwhile, the latest results of the quarterly labour force paint a grim picture for those who want to enter the job market. For the first quarter of the year, South Africa's unemployment rate remained one of the highest in the world at over 30%. Some of the contributing factors include the persistent load shedding and the slow economic growth. But the prediction in the economic fraternity is that things will get slightly better.
And over the medium short term, I think that the inflation rate is likely to come down a little bit. I won't be surprised if we see inflation at close to 5% at the end of this year. And there are some technical factors around that as well. More concerning, however, is the structural issue of inflation in South Africa. And that has to do with the macroeconomic environment. And the macroeconomic environment in South Africa is not a very friendly environment. It's an environment that's not very competitive.
As many South Africans venture into making an extra buck, the soaring food prices doesn't seem to bring any relief on the pocket. And while Refiloe and Stanley remain hopeful the inflation rate will be on a downward spiral, their main priority is to keep staying afloat and continue with their side jobs. Reginald, Witbooi, SABC News, Kimberley.